In this module, we are going to introduce a financial concept that wealthy people understand very well, but most Canadian homeowners typically aren't structured to take advantage of. At first glance, it looks like a miracle of finance, and it's hard to believe this is even possible. But it's not a miracle at all. It's really just an education piece that has been lacking among the middle class. You see, wealthy Canadians know and understand these rules, and they leverage them to their advantage every day. They have the know-how and the resources to do things differently in a way that the majority of Canadians simply don't understand. For the rest of us who are looking for that extra edge to stay ahead of the curve, it's time for us to learn these concepts, rewire our brains, and start using these strategies for ourselves. When a wealthy person buys a home, they try to put as much cash down on the home as possible because they don't want to carry debt unless it's tax deductible. They know that when they buy a home to live in, they are not able to write the interest off. So any mortgage they get to purchase the home is considered bad debt because it can only be paid off with after-tax dollars. It's not that the wealthy person doesn't carry debt. They probably have a lot of it. It's just they prefer if it can be tax efficient. So they pay less towards their mortgages over time. The rest of us do it backwards. We take on as much debt as needed to buy the home, and we use our cash to invest. Let's look at an illustration of how this works. First, they use their personal cash to buy the home to avoid carrying a bad debt, non-deductible mortgage. This is the blue area on the left-hand side of the illustration, where you see the down arrow. Then, immediately after buying the home, they borrow the funds back out to invest and build wealth, which is the yellow good debt investment line of credit you see on the right. This has some serious advantages, the first being that they don't sit on debt equity. They seek out ways to leverage their equity and put it to work, because it allows them to multiply the number of assets they have, which in turn results in faster wealth appreciation. Second, they get tax benefits because they borrowed the money to actively invest in the growth of the economy and the expansion of wealth. When you borrow to invest, as long as the investments have the capability of generating income, then the government lets you write the interest off on the borrowed debt. Third, the debt doesn't appreciate. In fact, it loses value over time, which we will explain in more detail later in the course. And the fourth, most important benefit, while the debt remains static, the assets and the income generated tend to appreciate with inflation. This gives them more options to leverage the assets and income in the future, which can help retire the debt, or can be used to improve lifestyle, or buy even more assets. In our next module, we'll take a closer look at these benefits, including how inflation can actually work in your favor with the right mortgage structure.